Dim light filtered through my blinds, casting the room in a melancholic glow. 20 years old and staring at a birthday cake with only one flickering candle. It was a fitting metaphor for my life, a solitary light in a vast, often unwelcoming, world. I shared this apartment with my mom, my stepfather, and the bane of my existence, my 15-year-old stepsister, Lily. We were as different as oil and water. While I was a tomboy, content in my ripped jeans and band t-shirts, Lily embodied everything feminine. My messiness clashed with her perfectly ordered world. A loud scoff cut through my thoughts. Lily, already dressed in a pristine outfit for some social event, stood in the doorway. "Still brooding over yesterday's party? Get over it, Sarah," she spat before sauntering away. This was just the tip of the iceberg. Lily excelled in the art of subtle, yet effective, cruelty. She'd manipulate situations, whisper snide remarks, and exploit my insecurities to her advantage. It felt like an endless psychological warfare, one I always seemed to lose. My childhood wasn't much better. My father passed away when I was 3, leaving me with only wispy memories. Mom, ever the pragmatist, buried herself in work, leaving me to navigate the emotional storms of my youth alone. Our personalities clashed constantly, her need for order and my yearning for freedom creating an irreparable rift. Things worsened when she met and married my stepfather, Tom, 2 years ago. While he wasn't cruel, he was often oblivious to the underlying tension in the house. And then there was Lily. Her arrival solidified my position as an outsider in my own family. As I surveyed the remnants of my birthday celebration, a wave of loneliness washed over me. I felt invisible, my voice unheard, my needs disregarded. But this year, things would be different. College was my escape hatch, my ticket to a life I could actually call my own. Months flew by in a blur of college applications, scholarship essays, and part-time work. The dream of escaping my suffocating home life fueled my every action. However, my parents, particularly my mother, seemed surprisingly unenthused. "Sarah, sweetie, have you considered staying local for college?" Mom asked one evening during dinner. Her voice was deceptively calm, hiding the storm brewing beneath the surface. "Mom, I've always talked about going out of state," I replied, confused. My carefully researched list of colleges lay forgotten on the table. "Well, there have been some developments," Tom chimed in, his voice hesitant. He looked towards Lily, who sat uncharacteristically quiet, fiddling with her phone. It was then that Lily dropped the bomb. "Mom and Dad are helping me apply to private schools. They're really expensive, and," she paused dramatically, a sly smile playing on her lips, "well, let's just say your college fund won't be enough for both of us." My blood ran cold. My college fund, painstakingly saved since childhood, was now being held hostage by my stepsister's extravagant college dreams. A lump formed in my throat, threatening to choke back the bitter words that clawed their way to the surface. "That's not fair," I finally exclaimed, voice shaking with anger. "I've been planning on going out of state for years." Mom sighed, her face contorted in a mask of disappointment. "Sarah, honey, you know we love you both. But Lily needs this more than you do." I knew what she meant. Lily, the golden child, the perfect daughter, needed all the support she could get. I, on the other hand, was the inconvenient truth, the reminder of a life she'd rather forget. The days that followed were a blur of arguments, tears, and slammed doors. My parents remained resolute, their decision seemingly final. I felt trapped, my dreams crumbling around me. One evening, amidst the suffocating silence of the dinner table, I knew I had to reach out. I dialed my grandmother's number, tears welling up in my eyes. As soon as her familiar voice filled my ears, the dam broke. I poured out my heart, the frustration, the anger, and the crushing weight of their unfair ultimatum. To my surprise, my grandparents didn't offer empty platitudes. Instead, they listened patiently, their voices warm and reassuring. When I finished, my grandmother spoke, her voice firm yet gentle. "Sarah, come home," she said. "You are not alone in this. We'll figure this out together." A flicker of hope ignited within me. Maybe, just maybe, there was a way out after all. A bittersweet feeling settled in my stomach as I packed my meager belongings. Leaving the life I knew, with all its imperfections, was daunting, but the prospect of building a new one with the support of my grandparents was exhilarating. My grandparents lived in a quaint town nestled amidst rolling hills, a stark contrast to the urban jungle I'd grown accustomed to. Their home, filled with warmth and the aroma of freshly baked cookies, welcomed me with open arms. The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. My grandparents, ever resourceful, helped me navigate the legalities of transferring my college fund, using part of it to secure a small apartment near the university I'd chosen. It wasn't the lavish dorm life I had imagined, but it was mine, a sanctuary from the storm. Finally, the day arrived for me to move out. The atmosphere in my old apartment was tense and silent. My parents avoided my gaze, their faces etched with a mixture of guilt and resentment. As I loaded the last box into my car, Lily finally spoke, her voice laced with a hint of uncertainty. "So, you're really leaving?" she asked. I nodded, unable to muster the energy for a retort. This wasn't about winning an argument. It was about claiming my right to a life free from their emotional manipulation. As I drove away, I glanced back in the rearview mirror, the image of the house blurring into the distance. A wave of sadness washed over me, mingled with a sense of liberation. I was leaving behind a world of pain and conflict, embarking on a journey of self-discovery and independence. College life was a revelation. Surrounded by peers who shared my interests and aspirations, I thrived. I discovered new passions, made lasting friendships, and most importantly, learned to embrace my unique identity. Years flew by, each milestone a testament to my resilience. I graduated with honors, secured a fulfilling job, and even found love with someone who cherished me for who I truly was. One evening, while visiting my grandparents, I received a call from my mother. Her voice, softened by time and regret, invited me for dinner. For the first time in years, I considered accepting. The visit was tentative, filled with awkward silences and hesitant conversations. But amidst the tension, there was also a glimmer of understanding, a sense of wanting to bridge the gap that had separated us for so long. Leaving that night, I knew the past couldn't be rewritten, the pain wouldn't simply disappear. But I also realized that forgiveness, not for them, but for myself, was the key to moving forward. As I looked out at the city lights twinkling in the distance, a sense of peace settled over me. The unseen battles of Sarah had shaped me, making me stronger, more resilient, and ultimately, free.